If you've been feeling backed up, bloated, or just plain uncomfortable, this message is for you. I'm not here to sell you a miracle or hype up a trend. I'm here as someone who has spent years working with older adults, listening to their concerns about constipation, slow digestion, and that uncomfortable feeling of being full, heavy and tired, even after small meals. And let me tell you something you might not expect to hear from a medical professional. Castor oil is one of the most underestimated remedies in digestive health. And when used correctly, especially for just 5 nights in a row, the results can be shocking. I've seen it over and over again. Let me explain. Castor oil is a thick, pale oil pressed from the seeds of the castor plant. It's been used for centuries, yes, centuries, as a natural laxative. But it's not just a get-things-moving oil. Castor oil has a unique ability to stimulate the intestines gently and deeply, helping the body release old waste that's been sitting there, sometimes for days, even weeks. What happens when that waste doesn't move? It gets reabsorbed. It creates toxins. It feeds harmful bacteria. It slows your metabolism. It fogs your thinking. And for many seniors, it silently damages quality of life, leading to fatigue, gas, bloating, and even serious complications like hemorrhoids, anal fissures, and diverticulosis. Now here's the thing. Most people don't realize how much waste is sitting in their system. They assume if they have a bowel movement every day, everything is fine. But quantity doesn't always mean quality. If your stool is small, hard, dry, or incomplete, if you don't feel truly emptied, then chances are there's a build-up happening deep in your colon. This is where castor oil can truly help, especially if taken gently over a short period, like 5 consecutive nights. Not forever, not every day, just 5 nights. Here's how it works. Castor oil contains a compound called ricinoleic acid, which binds to receptors in your intestines and stimulates natural muscle contractions, known as peristalsis, that move stool through your colon. But it does more than that. It also helps break down dry, impacted waste and encourages hydration of the stool, making it easier to pass. In older adults, whose colons are already slower, drier, and more prone to blockage, castor oil acts like a natural broom, sweeping away old debris and helping reset the system. Let me tell you about Mrs. K, a 74-year-old woman who came into my clinic complaining of constant bloating, a swollen belly that wouldn't go down, and a feeling like something's just stuck. She had tried fiber supplements, drank prune juice, and even used over-the-counter laxatives, but nothing gave her real relief. After reviewing her symptoms and diet, I recommended castor oil, not to take during the day, but at night before bed for 5 consecutive nights. She was skeptical, but willing. We started with just 1 tablespoon before bed, followed by warm water or herbal tea. The next morning, something finally happened, she said, with surprise. By night 3, she was eliminating more than she had in weeks, not just quantity, but quality. And by night 5, her bloating was almost completely gone. This isn't a rare case. I've seen this happen time and again. It's why I often recommend castor oil as a 5-night reset, a way to gently, naturally, and effectively help older adults clear out toxic waste that's overstayed its welcome. But here's the key. It has to be done correctly. And that's what many people get wrong. Rule number 1, take it at night, not during the day. You want your body to work overnight when you're resting and relaxed. Rule number 2, start small. 1 tablespoon is plenty. If you're especially sensitive, even a teaspoon may be enough. Rule number 3, stay hydrated. Drink warm water or a calming tea after taking it. Hydration is essential to soften stool and support elimination. Rule number 4, do not mix it with dairy or food. It works best on an empty stomach. Rule number 5, stop after 5 nights. This isn't a long-term solution, it's a gentle purge. Once your system is moving again, shift to high-fiber foods, water, and natural movement to maintain results. Now let's answer the big question. What comes out in your stool after 5 nights of castor oil? You might be surprised. For some, it's simply more regular, soft, complete elimination. For others, it can be dark, old stool that's been sitting in the colon far too long. Some people even report mucus, gas, or what looks like compacted debris. It's not always pretty, but it's real, and for many it's deeply relieving. There's a reason ancient medical systems, from Ayurveda to traditional European medicine, have used castor oil for generations. They knew what modern science is just beginning to rediscover. Your gut health is the foundation of your overall health, and if your colon is clogged, your body is suffering, whether you feel it yet or not. Now, to be clear, castor oil is not a cure-all. It's not for everyone. If you have a history of bowel obstruction, inflammatory bowel disease, or certain medical conditions, you should speak with your doctor before using it. But for the average aging adult struggling with sluggish digestion and minor constipation, castor oil can be a safe, powerful tool when used respectfully. We talked about how castor oil, taken for just 5 nights, can help your colon release waste that's been sitting far too long. And I'm not just talking about regular constipation. I'm talking about that deep heaviness, that constant bloated feeling, and that sluggishness many seniors feel but don't always know how to fix. Now let's take this further. Let's talk about what happens after the 5-night reset, and why so many people feel like they've had a total body detox. You see, once your colon clears out that stuck, compacted material, everything in your body starts working better. You may sleep deeper. You may think more clearly. Your belly may feel flatter. Your energy may rise. And that's not your imagination, it's biology. Your colon is like a long muscular tube that not only carries out waste, it's also responsible for absorbing water, electrolytes, and even some vitamins. But when that tube is lined with old stool and toxic buildup, absorption slows. The lining becomes irritated. Inflammation rises, and the rest of your body pays the price. That's why so many people say that cleansing the colon helps their joints, skin, and even mood. There's real science behind this. A 2021 review in Frontiers in Immunology found that chronic constipation and gut dysbiosis, imbalance in gut bacteria, were directly linked to systemic inflammation, which can worsen joint pain, memory loss, fatigue, and even heart health. Now let's talk about how to support your body after the 5-night castor oil cleanse. This is just as important as the cleanse itself. Because once you've cleared out the old waste, your colon is like a fresh canvas, and what you put in next matters deeply. Step 1. Rebuild with real fiber. Your colon thrives on fiber, but not just any fiber. You want a mix of soluble and insoluble fiber. Soluble fiber, found in oats, flax seeds, chia seeds, apples, absorbs water and forms a gel-like substance that soothes the gut lining. Insoluble fiber from leafy greens, celery, whole grains adds bulk and helps sweep the colon clean. I recommend starting your mornings with a warm glass of water, followed by oatmeal with flax seeds and berries. This combination hydrates, nourishes, and keeps the colon moving. Step 2. Stay hydrated. No exceptions. Water is not optional. After flushing out waste, your colon will need plenty of water to maintain stool softness and support peristalsis. Aim for at least 6 to 8 glasses a day, more if you're eating extra fiber. Start the habit of drinking warm water in the morning. It gently stimulates digestion and rehydrates the body after sleep. Step 3. Support good gut bacteria. When you flush your colon, you may also flush out some beneficial bacteria, especially if your gut flora is already weak. That's why it's smart to follow up your 5-night cleanse with probiotic-rich foods like plain yogurt with live cultures, kefir sauerkraut, kimchi mee. So if you don't eat fermented foods, you might consider a gentle, senior-safe probiotic supplement, but always check with your doctor first. Step 4. Keep your meals simple and healing for a few days after the cleanse. Stick to simple, warm, soft foods. soups, steamed vegetables, broths and stews. Your colon lining may be a little more sensitive right after releasing large amounts of waste, so avoid fried foods, processed items, sugar and red meat for at least 3 to 5 days. Let me give you a sample day that many of my patients use after completing the castor oil reset. Morning: warm water with lemon, oatmeal with flax seeds and blueberries, cup of herbal tea like fennel or ginger. Midday: vegetable soup or lentil stew, a side of steamed spinach or kale, small piece of fruit like kiwi or pear. Evening: grilled salmon or tofu with roasted sweet potatoes, mixed greens dressed with olive oil and apple cider vinegar. Chamomile tea before bed. This kind of gentle healing plan gives your colon the rest and nourishment it needs to stay clean and strong. Now, I want to talk briefly about the emotional side of all this. You'd be surprised how often my patients tell me, "I just feel lighter," not just physically, but mentally. That's not just a placebo. There's a real connection between the gut and the brain, known as the gut-brain axis, and it goes both ways. When your colon is full of toxic waste, your brain knows. You feel tired, foggy, moody. But when your colon is clean, your nervous system calms down. Inflammation drops. Even your serotonin, your body's feel-good hormone, becomes easier to produce and regulate. A 2020 study in neurogastroenterology and motility showed that gut inflammation and poor elimination were directly linked to anxiety and low mood in older adults. So if you feel emotionally off when your digestion is off, now you know why. And if castor oil, a simple, inexpensive natural oil, can help clear that physical and emotional fog in just 5 nights, wouldn't it be worth trying? Of course, I must repeat this important message. Castor oil is powerful. Use it respectfully. Do not exceed the 5-day mark unless under medical guidance. Do not take large doses, and never use castor oil if you have a bowel obstruction, active inflammatory bowel disease, recent abdominal surgery, severe diarrhea, or are pregnant. Always consult with your doctor if you're unsure. But for the average senior struggling with sluggish digestion, gas, bloating, and incomplete elimination, this could be the safe, natural tool you didn't know you needed. In closing, here's what I want you to remember. A clean colon isn't just about avoiding discomfort. It's about giving your entire body a fresh start. You don't need fancy pills or expensive detox kits. Sometimes the most powerful solutions are the simplest. Castor oil has been used for centuries for a reason. It works. So if you're watching this today, and you feel that something in your belly just isn't moving right, consider giving your colon a reset. Take castor oil for 5 nights gently, wisely, and watch what comes out in your stool. It might shock you. It might relieve you. It might just be the beginning of a healthier, lighter chapter of your life.